Have you ever wanted something so badly you could almost taste it, only to have it slip right through your fingers? Well, get ready for a story about our favorite yellow, porous pal, SpongeBob SquarePants, and his never-ending quest for a driver's license. It's a tale that proves sometimes the biggest victories have nothing to do with winning. The sun beamed down on Bikini Bottom, and inside his pineapple home, SpongeBob was practically vibrating with excitement. He meticulously polished his shoes, straightened his tie, and chanted, "I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready." Today wasn't just any day. It was boating school day, and SpongeBob had a feeling, a deep down in his SquarePants feeling, that today was the day. He could already picture it, the shiny plastic of his brand new license, the wind in his pores as he cruised down Conch Street. He grabbed his helmet, gave Gary a confident wink, and bounced out the door, his heart full of hope. He arrived at Mrs. Puff's boating school with a grin that stretched from one side of his face to the other. "Good morning, Mrs. Puff," he chirped, ready to witness the birth of a licensed driver. Mrs. Puff managed a weak, slightly trembling smile. She'd seen this enthusiasm before, usually right before her boat, her school, and her nerves were utterly shredded. The test began. "Okay, SpongeBob," Mrs. Puff instructed, clutching her clipboard like a life raft. "First, gently start the engine." But gently isn't really in SpongeBob's vocabulary when he's excited. He slammed his foot on the ignition, and the boat roared to life, lurching forward like a bucking bronco. The first obstacle was a simple left turn. SpongeBob, trying to be extra careful, spun the wheel so hard the boat did a full 360-degree donut, sending a flock of scallops scattering. Mrs. Puff puffed up to the size of a beach ball. Next up, the parallel parking challenge. SpongeBob saw the two flags marking the spot and aimed the boat, but his overeagerness took over again. Instead of easing in, he hit the gas, launching the boat over the curb, through a coral garden, and straight into the school's lighthouse statue. The statue toppled over with a dramatic crash, landing perfectly between the two parking flags. "Look, Mrs. Puff, a perfect park!" he exclaimed. But Mrs. Puff had inflated so much she was now wedged against the ceiling of the boat, squeaking in terror. The rest of the test was a blur of chaos, swerving through the anchor field, accidentally launching the boat off a ramp, and finally, a spectacular, fiery crash right back where they started. The boat was a wreck. The course was in ruins. The dust settled. SpongeBob looked at the carnage around him, then at Mrs. Puff, now deflated and looking utterly defeated. The weight of his failure crashed down on him. He hadn't just failed, he had created a disaster zone. Humiliated and heartbroken, SpongeBob did the only thing he could think of. He ran and ran until he found a small, dark cave, where he curled up into a little yellow ball of shame, tears soaking into the sandy floor. Hours passed. Suddenly, a familiar, friendly shadow fell over the cave entrance. It was Patrick. He found SpongeBob shivering and sad. "SpongeBob, what's wrong?" he asked, his voice full of concern. "I messed up, Patrick," SpongeBob sobbed. "I messed up worse than ever before. Mrs. Puff must hate me. I can never show my face again." Patrick sat down next to his best friend. "SpongeBob," he said, surprisingly serious, "everyone makes mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. Like that time I tried to use mayonnaise as sunscreen. That was a mistake. But running away and hiding, that's not the answer. You gotta go face her." SpongeBob looked up, his eyes wide. "But I'm scared," he whispered. Patrick put an arm around him. "Being brave isn't about not being scared. It's about being scared and doing the right thing anyway. And the right thing to do is to go say you're sorry." Taking a deep, shaky breath, SpongeBob realized Patrick was right. He couldn't hide forever. He marched back to the boating school, his little shoes squeaking with every determined step. He found Mrs. Puff quietly sweeping up the debris. "Mrs. Puff," he said softly. She turned, her expression tired, Before she could say a word, SpongeBob blurted out, "I'm so sorry. I was too excited and I ruined everything. I understand if you never want to see me in your class again. I just wanted to apologize." Mrs. Puff looked at him, and her weary expression softened. A genuine smile touched her lips. "SpongeBob," she said, her voice gentle, "you may have failed your driving test horribly, but coming back here to apologize, knowing how much you failed, that took real courage. More courage than it takes to pass a test." SpongeBob's eyes welled up again, but this time, there were tears of relief and pride. He still didn't have his license, but as he walked home, he held his head high. He had failed, but he had also been brave, and he learned that sometimes, owning up to your mistakes is the greatest success of all. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you next time.